Start to stream. Okay. Should be good. Should be live. Hey, everybody. Live. Nice. All right. Want to make sure I see it on my YouTube. There it is. Live. Looks good. Kick off LinkedIn. Where's LinkedIn? Start. Is it live? Let's go have a look. Go live now. LinkedIn always takes a minute. In the meantime, oh, there it goes. And go live. All right. In the meantime, hey, everybody. YouTube's up. LinkedIn's coming up. And what happened? Well, I got my little notes here. Last week, make this bigger. Okay, last week, I was public holiday. So in Singapore, we had a public holiday. And I want to do one other thing. Give me 1 second here. Fix my audio. That's done. There we go. Okay, cool. So, yeah, this is where we're at. We're going to have a quick conversation about a lot of security news. So, last week I skipped public holiday in Singapore. It was Wednesday, and I just didn't feel like doing this. So, take time off, rest. Nobody needs a burnout. World's going to turn whether I do this or not. I do like people to check out live if you want, but I don't really set a schedule. This is, as I've said, an IT Candor. I just don't have time to edit. So I kind of do it live and then post it up later, and then anybody can check it out. This week, we're going to hit up some fun stuff with news. Oh my God. Yeah, like I said, the title, it's mind-boggling. So one of the things that as a security professional, you're going to have to do when you want to get in this field is a lot of research, a lot of reviewing stuff, a lot of looking at articles, seeing what's happening in the world, and is your network going to be impacted if it isn't yet? Are you susceptible to those attacks? And I've always done that, but I've never thought about doing it the way I do it now, which is where I collect my articles over the week. Then I look at them and say, well, what might be interesting or what has a big impact to people in the world, and how would I talk about it? What do I like about the article? What about the article just pisses me off? Because obviously that more people want to hear about pissed off things. Nice things don't work. But why did I find the article useful? And then obviously providing more context from a security perspective of somebody who's actually been in those situations more than most people, and just give it guidance. And so there are so many. It's mind-blowing how much there is. I never noticed it because when I did it for myself, it was piece by piece by piece. But now that I've started putting them together and collecting them over the week for Wednesdays like this, it's like, damn, we're just not gonna win. I don't know. Why do I do this job? I'm just not gonna win, man. Hackers just they get to cheat. Ah, damn. I almost sometimes wish I was on the cheating team, but it is what it is, right? And I think that's why we're all in cybersecurity, because we do want to do better from a security profession. We want to do better from a company's perspective. They wish they didn't need us and they could save all the money. So I'm not saying companies are doing the right thing. I think security professionals that work at companies want to do the right thing, even if the company won't allow them. And with that, let's get going. So, wow, right off the bat, network friends. Hi, network friends. So you guys got your work cut out for you. There has been an ongoing attack just going after networks, right? VPNs, SSH sessions, external firewalls. Do your stuff, right? Meaning if you're not monitoring, not alerting for this, it's going on. And it's not like one little company saying this is happening. So obviously you can see is Cisco has included more than 2,000 usernames, passwords in the attack, 4,000 IPs. And so what should you do? Well, one, you should have this information. Two, if these are generic usernames, don't use generic usernames. If you are using them in your devices, stop that. Next up, on your thing, 100 passwords. Look, if you're already using a basic password, I hope you're not on that list. But the point is, make sure you're not using very easy, simple passwords for these solutions. And multi-factor is a big thing. It's going to help with that. And then finally, 4,000 IPs. Look, this information should already be blocked if you update or subscribe to some type of threat intelligence service, such what Cisco provides. If not, make sure you go and update your block list. It's just never going to end. But ultimately, I wouldn't keep these IP addresses forever. And the reality of it is if you aren't aware of this, a lot of customers that I've dealt with say, well, you only give us 15,000 blocks. We have 14,800 IPs we're blocking. And the first question I ask is, what's the oldest IP on that list? We don't know. So what happens is hackers use the IP, throw it away. In reality, I'm going to be fair here. I would say if you have a list of blocked IP addresses, maybe 6 months max, I would keep the IP address on the list because it's been thrown away and they're going to use a different one to come back in. This is really just to stop real-time stuff, not long-term mitigations. That's not really what this would be used for. And that, a lot of times block lists from an IP perspective are really used in a very poor approach. They think it's used forever. In reality, it's not really going to function like that at some point in time. So do think about that. Look, Cisco, Checkpoint, Fortinet, Sonic Firewall, oh my God, Ubiquity, what I have at my house. A lot of these are under attack. And this can obviously impact a lot of consumers and small businesses. Ubiquity does focus in that area and they do a good job. Obviously, I have that stuff in my house: routers, firewalls, Dream Machines, doorbell camera, stuff like that. So patch your stuff, get it updated. Don't use normal passwords. And if possible, don't expose the management to the internet. If you are doing that, that's very bad. I can see a lot of people accidentally doing this on the Ubiquity side. Multi-factor, multi-factor, and multi-factor. There you go. Okay. So with that, we're going to move on to the next one. But this has been going on since March 18th. Hopefully everybody has already made some progress on it. And it's just a lot of different vendors getting hit. Okay. Next up, let's go have a look at it. UnitedHealth, up to 1.6 billion. So this hack has been going on for quite some time. They're finally getting back to going. I think Mandiant was one of the companies involved with it. I have some friends who are there doing stuff and been helping for a while. Obviously, they're not going to tell me what they did because I wouldn't want to know, number one. And number two, it's just, we do tell each other, hey, what type of projects we are focusing on. We normally don't say the vendor, but as soon as it goes public where they said it was Mandiant, then my friends are like, oh yeah, we've been involved in it. Just like I will never tell what I've been involved in, but if it goes public knowledge, then people will say, well, we kind of know, right? But ultimately, this is a big one. And look, I'm not going to go through this whole article. What I want to say is it cost the company 1.6 billion this year, right? The money. IT teams would kill for 1.6 billion. 1.6 billion? I could protect the entire company forever. No, that's not true. But my point with this is the amount of money they lost, if they would have put 10% of this into their cybersecurity practice, and I'm going to say the word practice, because 10% of 1.6 billion isn't buying software, buying licenses. I would probably invest it more in process review, training, and assessments, independent external assessments, trying to bash the network and get in. Versus just even that amount of money would have done so much, and now they've lost this amount. Now, I read through this article and I was pissed. And here's why I'm pissed. But I'm allowed to be pissed because this is IT Candor and, well, I say whatever I want. The thing that got me was this: not as severe. Now, this is a Reuters article, and we have to remember that's a business view. But the guy that's a jerk is this guy. I'm going to call him Garrett Smith. Okay, he's a jerk. Sorry. Now, me personally, I'm one of those people, I try to be ethical, and I think the companies that I do business with would be ethical. So if I try my best. It's not perfect utopia, but I don't like this. This hack is not as severe as expected. That is an awful thing to say. Their view is money. Yeah, from a money perspective, it isn't that bad. It could be worse. But ultimately, any hack is a bad thing. And to say it's not as severe as expected is a dick move. All right? So you suck, Garrett Smith. And here's why. Let me go down just a little bit more. United has not disclosed the personal data that was breached in this hack. How the hell can you say it's not severe and we don't even know the full scope of how bad it was? And let's do the facts we do know. People weren't getting medical treatment. People weren't getting their claims processed. People weren't getting refunds. So yeah, ultimately there was some bad things, but this, I don't know, this jerk who only looks at the money obviously is a dick. So screw him. Everybody ignore this idiot and just focus on this part. It hasn't disclosed yet, but it has 60 days by US law. And when this comes out, if you're in the US, make sure you have some type of cybersecurity private insurance for identity theft and all this other crap that's going to be involved with it. But if you can get that and you can afford it, look at personal cybersecurity insurance, and especially the identity theft stuff. I think my mom and my dad, I've know both of them have it. I don't know if my brothers have it. Now I'm going to ask them. But worth looking to protect yourself, because this data is out there, even though this idiot says it's not as severe. It's ridiculous. Okay. Anyways, before I get any more anger out, let's move over to the next one. This one, this one's tough. This one's brutal, because small businesses have always been a huge target, and I don't get to talk to them ultimately because, well, I play in the bigger playground. You know, obviously I'm at Microsoft. I tell people that, and typically we're going to work with companies with very big budgets, and they can afford to bring in, well, top tier cybersecurity resources to assist their team to become top tier, right? And at the same time, there are just massive small businesses that are out there, and I have friends that have them, and I've went over and advised them for free, because I looked at what they were doing and said, look, here's some things you can do better. For example, one of my friends has Office 365, about 20 some employees, and they weren't using multi-factor. It's like, bro, you've got to turn on multi-factor. It's kind of comes with it. It's free, and it's the best thing you can do at a minimum, right? And small businesses are just under attack. Obviously, they brought up the UnitedHealth again here, but I like the things they put in here. A lot of them said the same thing, that let me get to the point of the article right here. We don't believe they are ransomware targets. So that's the problem. So you're the person that looks at this, the thing they don't understand is this big thing. Most ransomware isn't a person hacking the computer and going after this company. So if you think of a person would say, okay, let's say something horrible here. If I was going to kidnap someone, I was a person, I would want to make sure the person I kidnap is worth the most amount of money. That's not how it works. In cybersecurity, this is all bots. It's all automated. Typically, these smaller companies are going to get hit by a random one, which comes through an email or an attachment or something, and it's just going to spread without a human being involved. And that's it. So they're like, well, we're not a target, but you're looking at it from a human to a human perspective. This is a bot. This is an automation, and you're just going to get hit. And they don't care that they're not going to make a lot of money off you. The point is they might make a little bit, right? So this is the flaw in this thinking. We don't think we're a target. Well, if you plug something into the internet and you use a phone on the internet, ultimately you are a target, or can be used against someone else as a target, right? They really don't do a lot about cybersecurity, and I get it. Okay. So, let's look at what the recommendations were. Never forget their targets. Yes. If you have a company, you are making some type of money. And even if you're not a cybersecurity target, money can be made. Somebody else might want to take out your business, another competition. It's like, oh, this company's doing really good, I'm going to take them out or make them hurt, and then I'm going to buy them on the cheap. There is that espionage type of crazy thinking. I'm sure it happens in TV shows and movies, probably some real life there. But ultimately, your company is generating profit, has customers, has products. Ultimately, it might not just be targeting you, but targeting you to go after other people. Budgetary priority. Yeah, that's a huge one. Like, these companies don't have a lot of money, so I can understand why they don't focus on it. So you got to get the basics right. You really need to get multi-factor down at a minimum, and you just need to try to minimize the amount of devices or the amount of access people have to, like, your finance reports, as an example, right? Good cybersecurity hygiene. As a small company, you could actually invest time to take your 20 employees every 2 weeks and do a 20-minute lunch session where you talk about something good cybersecurity related, and then do group educations. You have that luxury. We're in an enterprise of 10, 20,000 people that are just hiring and firing people, and people are leaving and changing roles. You can't keep up with it. right? The amount of extra training we do in Microsoft, while it is good, it's a drop in the bucket in terms of actual people awareness. And I think this is a value that a small company can actually get right for free using lunchtime, but sitting down and saying, hey guys, how's everything going? Have you seen this in the news? Are you clicking links in email? You can actually have that conversation with your employees at a personal level that a large company cannot. Two-step, making sure everything has two-step, minimize admin passwords. This is true for a small or large company. A lot of those things come in here. There was a part in this article where it talked about the cost of the breach. Where the hell was it? 120,000. So that would destroy a small business. Some businesses could not survive if you took away $30,000 at one shot from them, let alone 120 is like the average range. Now, I'm assuming this is in USD. I don't have the stats in this, but my point is if this is a USD based one, that's a lot. It's a pretty heavy hitter. Cool. Small businesses, don't give up. Find some friends, find some people. You've got to do something. Doing nothing, it's just not going to work. So next one. Why be a good guy? 9.2 trillion. What's the value of being a good guy? Just the money you can make as bad guys is lucrative, right? We're talking, this is all-time high 2024. This is an estimate. What I liked about this article, and here's the diagram, right? You could just see the numbers going up. I mean, look at it from 2018 to 2028. The number is astronomical in estimates. If this doesn't tell you something, even as a small business now, the money's so crazy from everybody. As a consumer, you've got to figure out a better way for yourself and your family. And businesses are going to have to continue to step it up because just like this year, next year, they're going to want to make more money. Just like companies, every quarter, we got to make more, we got to make more, we got to make more. Hackers are doing the same thing. And 2028, what am I going to be doing in 2028? Hopefully the same thing. I got a job forever. I don't know if I have enough money from the company to do it right, but at least I have a job. This is disheartening that even today, looking forward, it's not going to get any better. Let's look at the factors. I think the factors are really good. Growing attack surface. Oh my God, you can't buy anything IoT today or smart TVs. That's coming up, hint, hint. Smart TVs, everything's an attack surface today. All the vulnerabilities, 0 days. Now we have AI coming out, and that's just going to broaden the amount of damage and impact that can happen with AI. And everybody's like saying, oh, we all want AI, but nobody's really doing security with AI yet. And there's a big gap in that. Geopolitics. Oh, good God. I want to skip this one, but yes, just like back in the day, they used to say, war, unfortunately, was a business. I could sell weapons and then I could sell the medicine after the war and I could sell the rebuilding and construction efforts. Cybersecurity is the same exact thing. I can use this time to sow discourse between places and profit off it, right? Skill shortage. Oh, yes, definitely. Anybody that tells you that you can graduate college and go straight to cybersecurity is a liar. Sorry, Reddit, you're full of crap. Cybersecurity, r/cybersecurity. No, you have to have a foundation, and that foundation takes time. It's just like, let's just go back to it. If you're going to have a military person, they go through boot camp and training, and they go out before they just get thrown out into a war zone. Hell, my brother was a drill instructor. And so every job you do, you need to have some level of training before you move into the next area. This shortage isn't going to be fixed by just throwing more people at the problem. This shortage is going to be fixed by throwing qualified people at the problem with the right processes, leadership, backing, and solutions to build a program of cybersecurity work. So it's a two-prong approach. Low barrier of entry. Oh yeah. If you don't know this, you could easily go. There's some YouTube videos, but if you don't believe it, if you're just one of these people who are like, the world is flat or whatever the hell, the point with it is, if you don't believe how easy it is, go to one of your partners or your research companies or whoever you work with from a cybersecurity perspective. If you're a CIO, CSO, and you don't believe this, and say, hey, I would like you guys to put together a demo of showing me how easy it is to go spin up a ransomware as a service. Don't do it yourself. Oh dear God, don't do it yourself. Let a professional who knows how to navigate these dark web waters, because they have people already doing research on this, and a lot of these companies that have threat intel already do this type of work. And you could talk to them and say, look, I don't believe it's this easy, and it might be something you need to convince your executive board that in 15 minutes I can pay for a ransomware service. It's very, very easy, right? Lack of awareness. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I'm sorry, Gen Z and Gen Alpha. This whole mobile phone, y'all have it swipe, swipe, swipe. You don't even think. You don't even sometimes actually understand the concept of passwords with just logging in with your face. Lack of awareness, I think, has went down greatly in because part of it from a consumer perspective. Social media has just ruined people in terms of do you have to share everything you do all the time online and then wonder why you get doxxed, or wonder why people send swatting to your house? Like, that's one of those scenarios. You kind of did it to yourself, unfortunately. But then there's the companies as well, small businesses. They don't have the money, but they're aware of it, but they don't have the money. And big businesses, there's not enough punishment. People don't go to jail from a leadership perspective, in my opinion. So there's not enough fear to do the right thing until it costs the company money. So at the moment, there's not enough laws. Now, if you're in the UK, that's a little different. I think they do a good job with showing GDPR and making these initiatives. The US, because I'm American and we have freedom of speech, the US sucks. Government doesn't do a damn thing right in terms of passing some laws to hold more accountability. Yes, good job on the disclosure within 60 days. That's a good starting point. But that's the only thing companies fear is money. And I think the laws should be more strict around monetary punishment, and maybe even prison time for purposely neglecting a breach that impacts millions of people's PII data is leaked. I think you should be punished in some way, but that's my view, and I'm not going to go there. Okay, obviously this is a Mac website, but keep your software up to date. Yes, if you're a Mac, use antivirus software. Anybody who told you you don't need that is a liar, and they don't know what they're talking about. Cybersecurity expert, IT Candor. Your Mac still needs something to monitor what's going on. Be careful of emails. And don't click links. If you get a link and it says, hey, you need to pay this thing for your utilities, don't click the link. Open your browser, type the website, and go to it directly. Avoid links, okay? I've taught my dad this years ago. He now to this day will not click a single link in any email. I've feared him. Next up, enabling a firewall. Yeah, you should always have that. Don't turn it off. If you're a consumer, don't turn it off. If you're an admin and you're a Windows admin and your Windows server's firewall turned off, shame on you. I swear to God, I would blow my mind how many places I go to and the damn Windows firewall's turned off on your servers. Oh my God, stop that. Leave the damn firewall on. That's just awful. And if you have Linux servers, I've seen it there too. So they'll do the same damn thing. Admins, you stop, turn off your firewall, keep the damn thing on. That's my IT Candor rant for the moment. Strong passwords, yes, but multi-factor. Disk encryption, this is a dumb point. It doesn't really help you in this scenario. You need it, but it doesn't really help with what they're talking about. Limited user privilege, yes, this is always going to be a headache. Most users will be local admin on their device because they don't want to type another password, or they don't want to do run as a consumer. Most businesses don't give local admin to their users, so that's kind of a good thing. But their admins will bypass that policy and give them local admin on their own computer because they think they're above the law. So that's what I would monitor and audit, that your admins aren't getting local admin on theirs because they think they're above the law. That's my tip. Next up. Oh, this one sucks. LG TVs. This actually impacts me. See, this is why I do this IT Candor stuff. I have two LG TVs, and both of them are not impacted. Yay! But I had to check this, right? So the total 91,000. Oh my God! And I guarantee every single one of these is connected. Let's say 90% are connected to Wi-Fi and connected to the internet. Now, the good thing about that is, hopefully they got the updates automatically. Most people didn't turn that off, right? But that's ultimately, you need to get your LG TV up to date. Now, let me explain what I do, so anybody else can hear. Well, what does crazy Joel do as a cybersecurity professional? Number one, my TVs are smart TVs, but I've tried to turn them into a dumb TV as much as possible. I don't really use the TV more than the screen. Normally I have other devices that I watch my media through. Okay. That means I put the TV on its own dedicated. I don't use Wi-Fi with the TV. I have Ethernet plugged into it. Yes, I have Ethernet because mine has the Ethernet port, which is nice. And is it Ethernet or is the damn thing Wi-Fi? I use Ethernet as much as, yeah, my TV is Ethernet. Sorry. One of them's Ethernet, one of them's Wi-Fi. That's why I'm confused here. So anyways, they are both in their own segment, separate from my main stuff. Number one. Number two, I also turn off the internet on those devices in my Ubiquity. And the reason is they don't need internet. And whenever I saw this article come out, I checked my TVs and I said, oh, okay, well, one of my TVs was in the list, one of them wasn't. Let me go and turn on the internet, update it, turn it back off. That's how I do it. Now, I'm going to give another content YouTuber some credit. Louis Rossmann, I've watched him every once in a while. I think he's a great advocate for right to repair. So thank you for what you've done over the years, Louis Rossmann. Myself, I like to solder. I like to make things. I like to fix things where I can. And I like what he's done with right to repair. Whether you like the guy or not, I think he's done a really good job there. He had a long discussion about Roku last week, and he brought up a good point around getting away from smart TVs. And personally, if I could buy a TV that was an LG panel, because I really like LG panels, but in a TV that had no Wi-Fi, no internet, and no camera or none of these other things, that would be perfect for me. And I would buy that in a heartbeat, because if these vulnerabilities exist, it wouldn't impact me. And if I wanted to update it, it would be a USB stick because of a bug. But rarely would I need it, because the TV itself just needs to turn on and change to 4 HDMI ports, and I'm happy. And so he brought up a good point. Maybe there's a market for non-smart TVs. And enterprises, if I was in an enterprise and I was a CSO, I would want to make sure the TVs we have in our conference room don't connect to our corporate network. And if I don't have to really manage them and update them, most people can just project, we can hook up a projector to it and be done with it. So from an enterprise perspective, a non-smart TV would be a glorious thing to have from a security perspective. So if anybody comes across this video and knows a company that is using like LG panels, because you can buy the panel from LG, and building a non-smart TV, let me know, because I'd be interested in it, to be honest. So there is a market for it. Probably not a lot of us. Roku. Speaking of TV stuff, Roku back in the news. These jokers. Oh man, 500,000 records. Oh my God, these numbers are crazy. This is more than the amount of people connecting to the internet in probably like 1996. There wasn't even this many people on the internet. I don't know. Now I'm curious what the number is. Damn it. I'm going to go look it up to see the internet usage growth for the US and what year we got to this number, right? I'm going to do that. I will remember to add it to next IT Candor next Wednesday. When did we hit this number of people connected to the internet in the US and this breach like that? They got some partial credit card numbers. That sucks. It is what it is. Mostly account holders. I have a Roku account, but I've already reset the password on it. What I want to talk about down here is Troy Hunt. So if you are a security expert and you don't know the name Troy Hunt, well, today you're going to learn about it. Have I been pwned? So you probably know what that is. The guy who created it is Troy Hunt. Awesome guy. I've had a conversation with him before many years ago. Nice guy. And that's the type of cybersecurity people that I like, that are just nice to talk to. And there's no ego involved with, no matter how great this thing that was created. Right. If you have I been pwned, if you know what it is, go up there, search for your user by email address, and it will tell you, has your account been found in a breach, and you should reset your password. That's a good thing to do. Now, I also have a vault. So if you use like a password vault, like Bitwarden, 1Password, NPass, a couple other ones out there. I don't even want to recommend LastPass. I'm sorry guys. Not a fan of them. They have integrated with Have I Been Pwned, and a lot of time you should have some type of report in your vault that says these amount of accounts were found in data breaches, so you can quickly go reset the password and move on with your life, right? Now, if you're using a vault, most likely the password's randomized. If you're not, use a vault program. Go look at Bitwarden, go look at KeePass, which is free. Go find something and try to use a vault program if you're not using it today. If anybody has questions about that, I can make a video, tons of other YouTube videos. I don't like to rehash that stuff, but if somebody says, hey, Joel, we'd like to hear what you think about Vault programs. More than happy to give a real cybersecurity expert opinion as opposed to just a random YouTuber who knows what a Vault is. Not being arrogant, just being honest. IT Candor. But yeah, this sucks. Reset your passwords. Now, interesting enough, I might as well take a moment here. Whenever I sign up for accounts, I actually use an alias. So you guys know my name's Joel. You know, you can find me on LinkedIn. That part of it isn't private. However, the account that I use, I've created my own account over the years, which I have a different first name, last name, a different address, and a different birth date. And whenever I register for something, I use that information. So when this gets leaked, everybody's like, oh my God, they got my stuff. Like if I can avoid using it, I will. And there's places where you can't do all this, like if you're using like your credit card, but then I try to always use PayPal when I can, so I don't have to give a credit card or other ways of paying for things. But I have a completely separate me that doesn't use all fake information when I register for these type of websites, because there's nothing I need from Roku except being able to log in to get to the service. So I gave them all fake stuff to begin with, right? Oh, back in the Firewall 0 day, highly capable 0 day. So if you haven't done this yet, if you have Palo Alto, make sure you're patching. I think they've already released the patch for this. This was on the 13th. No, this was on the 13th. I haven't looked up yet. Did the patch come out yet? If you're running any of Palo Alto's 10.2, 11, or 11.1 OS, you need to patch your stuff ASAP. The CVE's right here. Go read up on it. And this is a big one because it's network facing, internet facing exposure. It is very problematic that it could be used in the wild. It's being publicly disclosed, which means no more hack. Okay, here's the thing. If it's being utilized and they discover it, eventually they have to tell everybody about it. It kind of sucks they had to tell them without the patch being available, but there's other mitigations you can put in place. So it's better to tell everybody like, oh my God, you can try to do some things till we have a patch versus not telling anybody. So it's the lesser of two evils. But once this comes out, all the hackers who didn't know about it now know about it. So ultimately more people are coming for it. So the way they disclose it means you actually have to be doing something, even if there is no fix for it. There's other mitigations that can be done, which typically require manual intervention a lot of times. It took place on the 26th, so people have known about it for a while now. It uses Python. There's a good diagram here. I'm not going to go into this because IT Candor, I don't want to be crazy over the top, like try to help people understand this. I think that's a topic for another day. Like, how does this work? But I think for now, my view for this channel was to bring awareness to people to look at how they can fix it. Now, the thing I like about this article was the stuff above. What I dislike about it was this was just poorly written. Dan, this is from Dan, right? Yeah, Dan, you need to do a better job, buddy. This was completely written in the incorrect context. Stealing some of the most sensitive resources in a Microsoft network. So there is no such thing as technically a Microsoft network. Okay, there's AWS cloud, there's Google cloud, there's Microsoft cloud, and then you have your on-premise network. And the way you wrote this article is you said Active Directory. Active Directory is traditionally an on-premise solution, which means it's not a Microsoft network. It is your corporate network, because I guarantee you have an HP printer hooked up to that network. I guarantee you have network devices, Palo Alto in this scenario. So there is no such thing as a Microsoft network. There is an infrastructure network. So this was a bit misleading, and I think you should edit your article. Now, if you subscribe to cloud services, guess what? You're still responsible for the cloud infrastructure that you provision, such as firewalls and security groups and stuff. You're still on the hook for that. You can't get around that. Even though you are paying AWS to Microsoft, you still own that network. There is no Microsoft network because most people would never have access to that, because that's the actual Azure infrastructure or AWS infrastructure. So Dan, please rewrite this. This isn't accurate. However, from an Active Directory perspective, and my advice to everybody else now. So hi Dan, sorry. Everybody else, your Active Directory database is easily stolen. So what do you need? You need to have, it's not the AD service, it's actually an OS problem. So you need an EDR and you need AV and stuff, and you need to be monitoring the OS. And most EDR solutions are looking for somebody to try to steal the database. Now, if you look through your logs and a database is stolen, what do? That is hours of me talking, which nobody wants to hear about right now. My advice is if you're a CISO or a CIO, go to your security team this week or next week and say, hey, if our AD database is stolen, what do we do? What's our plan? How do we handle this problem? And ultimately, it should be at a minimum restarting your Kerberos, your KRB TGT, taking new backups, resetting critical accounts, critical passwords, other things like that to try to bring the trust back to AD. Okay, so this is a good opportunity to have this conversation with your team and make sure that they know, could they detect this and how do they recover from it? And if not, got to get that plan in place. Okay. Last on. So this one, I'm going to do something interesting here. I'm going to change it up a little bit. We have this problem with AI today, where there is, you don't know what the hell's real anymore, right? Let's be honest. AI and bots are. Oh, hey, Matt. Hey, saw Matt's chat. It's probably going to pop up there. Matt, that's fair. But I would never say there is no such thing as a Microsoft network, because ultimately the network itself is network devices, which are not Microsoft. And so does anybody truly have 100% Microsoft network? I would, maybe if there's like 10 servers. But ultimately, it's a gray area. So fair comment. But what I would say is, if you think about it, most people don't use their Active Directory to log into their network devices either. There's some separation from a security perspective. What I was saying is, if he said Microsoft Network, then went Active Directory. Yeah, Active Directory is huge in most enterprises. You're on point with that, buddy. But I do feel the way it's worded is you would ultimately want to say your infrastructure, because even this article was talking about Palo Alto networks. The word Microsoft Network doesn't really fit in with that. You know what I mean? If I was to think Microsoft Network, I would think AWS, like AWS, their infrastructure, or Microsoft Office 365, the infrastructure is a Microsoft network, but people don't get access to that, right? But cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for the comments, buddy. I want to do something different. So lately, I try to be very fair about this. Whenever I'm doing anything, I try to not use AI for everything. I think if you use AI, I think you should be obligated to have some type of AI statement. So if I was to say, hey, I created this picture, I like some AI to know, hey, it's okay to use AI to help you, or generative AI. But what I don't like is nowadays, could you trust a resume? I don't think so, because AI can write the whole damn resume. So the person you're hiring, all you know is they're good at using AI to make a Word document or a PowerPoint. You don't know if they're actually good at those skills. And so you have to ask yourself, what do we do about this AI stuff? And one of the things I do is I try to be ethical. If I've used AI in any of the stuff I'm presenting to you guys, I would say it. Now, I have thought about using AI to summarize some of the articles, but ultimately I still do it myself. But here's my whole point. On LinkedIn, I see a lot of bad habits. I'm going to be honest. I've unfollowed a lot of people lately because I feel they're farming for attention and they're not being honest. Meaning they're posting once a day. As a cybersecurity professional, to be frank, you don't have time to post every day. That's to be honest. A good quality post maybe once a week is fair, maybe 2 or 3 reposts. But I was following somebody who I noticed reposted 6 articles a day. And I'm like, well, this person's using a bot. And I'm not going to give a bot a follow. I'm going to give a real human who puts effort in a follow. So that's my new thing. Hope others look at that. With my research, I came across this person. And so I'm going to start a new thing where I want to give a LinkedIn high five to a security professional who I think brought up a very good point, and I would like to highlight it for everybody else. And I'm going to go with this person. This post was by Nicholas. I hope I said it right. He's in Amsterdam, but it's all in public, so I'm not doxing him or anything. But he brought up a really good post, and I liked it, right? Cybersecurity vendors are living in an AI fantasy land, while most organizations are drowning in cybersecurity basics. Based. Awesome. Let's go look at AI. But forget all the other shit that we've never fixed. Oh my God. Vendors love their hype game-changing AI. Oh, marketing people. Gotta love them. They will all make your security woes disappear, but they are completely out of touch with reality on the ground. Thank you. Somebody who is talking from the real people in the field, not I go to TED Talks and tell everybody else what the hell I know, and I haven't touched a keyboard in 5 years. The average org is struggling with broken process. Thank God that is number one. Number one, broken processes. It doesn't matter how good your tools are. You can blame Microsoft for Defender sucking. But guess what? If you didn't turn on ASR, it's your own damn fault. It doesn't matter. You can point fingers at the vendors all day long, but you own your own processes. So my point is, take your process and review them. A lot of times it's a breakdown in the process that led to a major compromise. Mountains of useless controls. Well, we've had this for 8 years. Doesn't mean you need it for another 8 years. Review it, remove stuff. There might be a better tool or solution or monitoring that replaces this. And a really good example is passwords. The hell with passwords. Multi-factor, and now we're moving into passwordless and we're moving into passkey. So if you're still focused on passwords and the controls for passwords, you're wasting time not focusing on to get rid of passwords, right? Endless red tape. Oh, he must have worked in the military. I don't know. Red tape. Look, I'll be honest. If I was a CISO or a CIO, there would be at least every 2 months, I'd be addressing my security team. If you don't ever see your CISO or CISO, you have a problem. If you're in an org of less than 10,000 people, if you don't understand their concerns, they have failed you. If CISO doesn't like that, well, I challenge you to call me wrong. Your staff doesn't know what your concerns are and how we're working together. It starts at the top and filters its way down. So if I was a CISO, tell you now, every 2 months we'd have a town hall type of thing, and I'd be making sure the security team, I'm talking about where the business is being protected, and hopefully get some feedback on areas we can improve. And understaffed teams, yes, I think this might get exacerbated thinking, oh, we can bring in AI and then we can get rid of people. Cool, yeah, go ahead, try that. It might work for one company and it might fail for 100 companies. It hasn't been proven yet. But ultimately, AI in cybersecurity is going to be a tool that is bolted on to a human being who understands the processes and understands them. And if they use the tool correctly, it's going to be very successful. If the tool's being used to replace them, well, the person who's being replaced isn't going to give a crap that the tool works, because they're going to be like, I'm not going to help it. So the AI itself might be poorly implemented, to be honest. And let's finish the article. I've seen multi-billion-dollar security programs that can barely keep endpoints patched. You must work in the military. Oh my God. Actually, that's just everybody. Be sure, drop in the AI black box and that'll solve everything. It most definitely will, thanks to marketing. You can't automate a dumpster fire. I love it. Yeah, hey, go ahead and start the fire. If orgs haven't done the hard, unglamorous work of security basics, even the finest AI is worthless. Yes, you can't let a monkey run your AI. Vendors need to wake up and meet customers where they are. Thank you. This is a big one, and all vendors suffer from this shit. Here are our goals. We want to push these products because it's going to make us the most money. If your company does that, then you really don't care about what the other company's journey on their cybersecurity is and what their current needs are. Eventually, their needs will hopefully line up with yours. Or maybe they are on that same journey. But a lot of companies are at a point back where you need to look at what they have and implement what they need as a trusted advisor, which might not make your budget. It might not make you the most amount of money. It might not make you subscriptions, but it's the right thing to do if you truly care about helping another company with cybersecurity. Help them fix the fundamentals before performing magic. And that's my biggest concern. So, Nikolai, thank you. I liked your post. I'm going to give you a follow in real time. I really appreciate this post. Honest, blunt, straight up there. People need to know about these things. Sorry, I'm going to get some water. And that was my LinkedIn high five, my first one ever. Holy crap. I forgot to change my browser. Sorry, Nick. I forgot to post it. I just gave you the follow in real time. Anyways, here's Nikolai's. Here's this article. Here's what he said. This is why you need more people watching me. Say, hey, Joel, you're an idiot. You're not presenting your thing. But look, I'm going to give Nicholas the first ever IT Candor high five. I loved his post. I loved his honesty, talking through the broken processes and all the red tape. And then let's put AI in and it's going to magically fix the world. It's not. It might actually end up making it worse. You have to get the basics right before you go and look at AI. So Nicholas, congrats. First ever IT Candor LinkedIn high five. Next week, I'm going to find somebody else, pick on you, like it. But if I feel you're a botter or you're not doing the work yourself, I'm not gonna pick you. Damn, I can't believe I forgot to put the LinkedIn up there. Sorry, I wanted to read the post out loud, but it is what it is. I'm a noob at this stuff, and I'm happy with it. Hey, that's it. That's IT Candor this week. Thank everybody for who did check in. Matt, thanks for the 2 comments. Microsoft Network, fair, but quick little discussion on it. I think we met in the middle. That's called a compromise. And next week, same time, Wednesday, around 11 o'clock, I'll do this, and then I'll post it up there. And yep. Thanks, Matt. Good comment. AI will make cybersecurity jobs harder in the short term. Focus on the basics. We have AI. Do you have multi-factor? No. Fail. Oh, good job. There you go. Yeah. Anyways, that's it. So I'm going to post on my LinkedIn and Twitter and a couple places where I always do. But thanks again. I will see everybody next Wednesday. I guarantee there will be plenty more articles and funny things to talk about. And with that, you guys have a great rest of the week and take care. Bye.